Welcome to the Chasing Brighter podcast.
You're about to go on a journey of self-discovery as we chase a brighter you. Every single week, we will bring you new episodes that will cover everything from lifestyle and tips to more serious conversations about grief, life, and hardships.
Allow this show to be a reminder to always keep chasing a brighter version of you. Let's get into it. Hi, Jess. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
How are you?
I've been traveling a lot for work, and I'm traveling tomorrow. It really clogs up my brain. I feel like I'm too disheveled where I'm trying to do a lot of stuff in a little bit of time, and I overwhelm myself. And I don't think the reality is that I'm actually that busy, but for whatever reason, my brain is, oh my God, panic. You have so much to do and not enough time.
I feel very overwhelmed. I have taken on some, I think like my schedule had been a little bit lighter for whatever reason. To be honest, I think what's happening is it seems like there's a one day every week recently that I have to completely block out and can't work. So it moves my clients into the other days, if
Mm.
that makes sense. So those other days where I had an hour to run an errand or something, I don't have anymore. So yesterday I worked until 4, which I usually work until 2:30, and then I get the kids and I don't work anymore. So yesterday I worked till 4. Today I work till 3. So I have some busy days. It's book week. I've had a reading week. So I have a book fair. I have a book nick. I had to reschedule everything so I could go see Geo for a book nick. You're coming into town for the photo shoot, which after I get through tomorrow, actually I have to get through today, I'm chilling. I have 2 clients tomorrow, going to the book nick. You come into town. Photo shoot will be fun. It'll be fun. It's not like that's using our brain. And then Friday, I just have 1 client, kids have half day and spring break. So it's right before you go on a vacation, it just seems like very high overwhelm, you know?
I know.
And I'm not
My
feeling
friend,
great, which isn't helpful.
I have a friend or like people who I've been trying to connect with, and I'm like, April, because we have spring break. And
Yeah.
I have 3 weeks until spring break, but I don't want to do anything the week before. Like, I think I am trying to set better boundaries and
Yeah.
limits on things. And
Yeah.
if somebody's, hey, are you available this week? I can say no. And
Yeah.
it's easier for me to spread things out
Right.
because it does get busy. And we're still in the heart of sports season. Although
Yeah.
Beckett has one more week of soccer. And then we have a 3-week break. So I'm super excited about that
Yeah.
and excited about not having to worry about the evenings for him. We're just going to start ramping up on baseball,
Yeah.
right? So that gets a little busy and it's manageable. We have 2 kids and we have 2 adults. So it's manageable for now, but it's just like a lot of other
But it feels
things.
like a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. This time of year, spring is always very stressful for me until Memorial Day. And it's just starting. Giovanni is in rec ball. I told him last night, it's like, your response to everything is no. Like, you have a skill. I've been listing his gifts, trying to build up his self esteem. And I was like, another gift you have is that you are able to say no to everything. Your response is no, right? Over the weekend, I just hate baseball. I love school. How do you think he was feeling Monday morning? Or back to hating school. I just want to
Mm.
stay home with you. Let's just homeschool. I hate school. And it's, to have the emotional, I think one of the things is it's like, with what you're talking about, I don't think it's that it's too much or the schedule, blah, 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 blah. I think it's about our energy source, our emotional energy. Are we engaging in the things that build our energy? So for you, yes, traveling might not be like that big of a deal on the scheme of things, but if it takes a lot out of you, your energy and emotionally, then it's like, how do we fill that up so then we have the emotions for the regular day-to-day stuff?
I can't do everything. I love to travel. And I actually
Yeah.
don't really care if it's business or personal, but I love being at the airport and being on the airplane and just people watching and eating different food and just being out and about. Last week was a very long week because I was gone Monday through Friday. And that was tough. Plus, Wes was sick. I don't know if I told you that. Wes was sick and he
Yeah.
missed 4 days of school.
Yeah.
And Brian was sick and he was
Mhm.
grumpy. And it was a lot for me not being there. I think that's the mental load I carried.
Yeah.
By day 3 or 4, my colleague who I was traveling with, he's like, "How's the home front?" I was like, "You know what? I don't know, and I don't care anymore. I need to stop. I am not there. Brian is perfectly capable of taking care of
Yeah,
the kids."
yeah,
And I was like he was like, "Finally." He was like, "Good for you." He was like, "Making the change, like, just letting it go." Like, he was
yeah,
giving me a hard time. I think as a person who's trying to balance all these things, I think the reason I love travel is you're there. I had a really hard time. I was really busy with other things. I am, like, even for us traveling or doing the photo shoot, like, it just feels really busy right now that I have a lot of stuff I need to think about. Even our episodes and asking me or, like, you're putting stuff together, and I'm like, I'm a procrastinator in some ways. So it's I got so much crap going on. I'm not gonna think about that till 8 a.m. the morning of or something, right? I hate that though too, where it's like trying to and also prioritizing, Jess, of like when you do have those moments of free time, like what you choose to do with them. And I know sometimes it's okay for me not to do anything. And maybe that's just what I need to do to like reset,
yeah.
talking all over the place.
Right. I think I operate different. Like, I was trying to help you just by doing the work ahead of time, and I know your brain wasn't there, but I was trying to let you know, "Hey, I've got this. I'll just put these things together because I know this whole week your brain is somewhere else." But that maybe doesn't help you to know.
It did not help me in some ways, but it's good for us to know like what we need to tackle. Yeah. But on a interesting note, since we're in Chicago and my kids play video games, they love Fortnite in particular, and they play it all day long Saturday and Sunday when they're not doing sports. And Fridays, they're on their video games all the time, blah, 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 blah. And they play other games too, but those are the game. That's the main game. And we go through these stages where we let them play a tremendous amount of gaming, and then we're like, "No." There was a time where we are like, "Okay, you guys have to not do anything for 2 weeks." So, Wes is a little older, being 13, and I kept being like, I'm doing a very bad job parenting because I'm passive aggressive in terms
Mhm.
of my, like I want him to not wanna play video games,
Yeah,
so I want him to choose that, and so I have to make comments and do all this stuff. Wes takes that weighty, so I have to be really careful. It got to this fever pitch where they are like the only thing they're obsessed with is video games, so, like, you tell them to do stuff, they'll get it done because all they know is if they get all their chores done, they can get to video games, like, it's always about blah, 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 blah.
right.
Minimize eating dinner, grab food really quick, go back down to video game. It's
Yeah.
the only thing they're so obsessed with. I told I made a comment to Wes on Sunday because Brian and I were like, "This is getting ridiculous." And so Wes was like, "Oh, blah, blah, blah." I said, "You know what, Wes? I have to tell you right now that we've got to figure out this video game thing because I'm not really liking my kids too much right now." That's what I said to him.
Mhm.
And so dad and I were talking about it. We got to figure something out because it makes me not like you guys very much right now. And he was like, he apparently, like, minutes later, whatever, logged off video games, went up
Yeah.
to his room and was like, "You said you hate us, first of all." He's like, "You said you hate us." And I was like, "That's not what I said, but I can't reason with him then." He's like, "No, you hate
Mhm.
us." Blah, blah." I said, "No, it just makes me not like you very much." I said, "That's what I said." And he was, like, really upset about it. It really hurt his feelings. It was very inappropriate way for me to deal with him because he's a people pleaser. So it took a while. You have to know your kid. He was very upset and he wasn't talking to me. And I don't know that teenage thing where they push you away, but they actually don't want to push you away.
Right.
And
Right.
so it's that leave my room now. And then I'm like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
leaving. Do you really want me to leave? No thing. But anyway, so I said, you know what, Wes? I'm really sorry. You hate to disappoint people. And I made a comment like that I know that made you feel like you are disappointing me and you are not disappointing me. And so he's, you have to know each child or whatever. And so I talked him through this whole thing. And
Right.
then later on in the evening, I'm over video games. I think I'm going to play less. It's not as fun anymore. And so I was like, Brian, oh my God, like maybe we turned a corner. He's going to outgrow this stuff. I think when we're parents and we're so knee deep in something, whether it's like your toddler not napping and you're a loser parent because you didn't teach them good sleep habits, or this you're letting your kids video game because and you're ruining their brains and that's all they care about. All these things pass. Think
Yeah. Yeah. The video games are it's tough. It's tough because we've talked before. I don't know, it really changed my thinking when we read that book, How to Talk to Your Teens So Your Teens Will Listen and Listen to Your Teens Will Talk, and
Yes.
I think it was in that book that said it would be like if your husband walked over and ripped a book out of your hands, it was like, "That's enough reading." Or was it in the How to Talk anyways, How to Talk When Your Kids Don't
Yes.
Listen. But,
Something
like,
like that.
they
Yeah, yeah,
love
yeah.
something, it would be like if someone came up to you and you were, like, enjoying this delicious cup of coffee and they ripped it out of your hands and were like, "You're done, the end," right? And so it's like, how do we do that in a respectful way, like respecting their autonomy and recognizing it's something that they enjoy doing? And I think that's really tough because you have kids who have then behavior concerns with video games. We know that too much video games, their research is showing that the hippocampus is shrinking. It can lead to short term memory loss. There are some real scientific things to say, okay, too much of this isn't good. But then it's the day to day of you got stuff to do. If you let your kids play video games, guess what? They leave you alone. They're as happy as can
Well,
be.
plus,
Get shit done. So
if
it's
they
very difficult. It's very
right.
difficult.
Plus, Jesse, though, if they are playing Minecraft or Fortnite, they are gonna be ready for the end of days. My kids are learning about being the last survivor. They know I used to was like anti-guns, and now I'm like, okay, those kids are gonna tell me what are the good guns when the zombies come. But like Minecraft, they're gonna be able to create a crafting table and like whip up
Yeah.
some pork chops.
Bam.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like they can build us a
Yeah.
house.
I think it's just with anything, it's just teaching balance. I know you
Yeah.
and I would love to sit in my office and read a book and not talk to anybody and read for 5 hours. We just can't. And so
And
they
going
can't
back,
regulate. We've got to
they
help them
can't.
regulate.
And that's our
And
job as a parent.
yeah.
And you talking about Geo saying no. I hate the no. And
Yeah.
we have to push through the no's. Last
Yeah.
night,
Yeah.
it's so hard to get the kids to do anything I want them to do. And last night Brian was out. And so I was like, Wes was like, he made a comment like, I would like to spend more time as a, here's what he said. I would like to spend more time as a family. That's what he said a couple nights ago. But it's because of Beckett, because Beckett's always going to want to be on video games. I was like, I'm Beckett's parent. I can tell him what he needs to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was like, let's watch a movie tonight because Wes told me he wanted to watch Wonka. Have you seen Wonka?
No. Was it
Oh my
good?
God, Jess.
That's new. That's
It's
new.
new.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Okay.
I had no idea. I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
anything about it except
Okay.
for I'm raving about it.
We
So,
can watch it on spring
we
break.
watched all the trailers
Yeah.
of it took us way too long to pick a movie out, but Wes wanted to watch that, and it was we decided what we need to do is each person gets to pick. We
Yeah.
haven't done that. We're more like a consensus situation, which isn't as good.
Yeah.
So it's, "Okay, this is your pick, the next time it's gonna be Beckett's pick." So
Right.
we gotta go with that. Becca didn't wanna do it. But we finally I got them both on the couch and they were
Yeah.
all laying and, like, snuggling and all the things, and it was so lovely, and it was the most amazing movie, and we haven't finished it, we have to finish it, but
Yeah.
they were both like, "Oh my god, this is so good." So
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you said, it's hard to get everybody to wanna watch it. Like, last night, it was a popcorn for dinner night for myself, like, it was leftovers, but I just felt like popcorn, and I made popcorn, and Gabby and Gio were home. Dom and Justin were at baseball practice. But I couldn't get Gio on the same page because I had told Gio, "You can be on your iPad for 20 more minutes, and then let's snuggle, and we'll have popcorn," and he was like he loves Baking Impossible.
okay. Mhm.
Okay, this is how I do any show where it's a competition. I watch the beginning and I fast forward. I don't care. I don't care that they ordered the tile and the shipment was wrong and they had to choose different tile. Or I don't care that the cake mold broke. I'm ready for the end, right? So I started watch Baking Impossible with them. Gabby and I watched Princess Diaries over the weekend. She was like, "Let's watch Princess
I've
Diaries
actually never
too."
seen it.
And he was, like, screaming, "You said we could watch Baking Impossible." You know, and it's like, so you have 2 kids that wanna do different things. By the way, our March book club is The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes, and
Yes.
Shonda Rhimes, one of her big breaks was she wrote the screenplay for Princess Diaries too, and or produced it, and I was like, "Oh my god, Shonda Rhimes?" Anyways, that was
Her name
crazy.
is everywhere.
Yeah, it was just kinda
I started the book too. It's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, so it was crazy, but anyway, so we watched 5 minutes and he didn't like it, so we watched Baking Impossible, and I was like, "Can we fast forward?" So Baking Impossible, do you guys watch that? Have you seen that?
Yeah, but you'll have to refresh my
It's
memory
like
because I
an
get them all
engineer is paired up with a
confused.
baker, and then they're given
Where
this
is it on?
crazy
What is it
thing.
on?
We're
Is it on
watching
Net
it on Netflix.
okay,
So an
Netflix, okay.
engineer is paired up with a baker, and they'll be like, "You have to create a miniature golf course with 3 things that move and a cake 5 feet high." So they have to work together, but it's very
I don't
engineering
think
and
I've seen this. This
sciencey,
looks really
and I don't
great.
care any show, but I'll be like, I don't care that the gingerbread broke. I'm like, "Let's fast forward and see who wins," and Gio was like, "Gingerbread."
I see it
I'm like, "You
totally
have to
different.
watch the guy make the angles for the gingerbread?" "Yes, I do."
What
Like,
about it this way? What if it's do you like and maybe he
he
likes
loves
the
baking
engineering
shows.
piece or the
Yeah.
baking piece?
He'll be an engineer or a baker. No, yeah, no, he loves Nailed It, any baking show. He's
Okay.
like any
The
kind
kids
of
like
baking
that.
and he liked that building show with the kids,
The
the
Lego one
building
or the
things. It was like Make It, and it was like a guy that was like a toy
Okay.
engineer, and then the kids will say, "We want you
Oh,
to
yeah,
build
yeah, yeah, yeah.
us
Yes, yeah.
whatever." So, yeah, no, I get it. I hear what you're saying, but it was because we had to go to bed, and I was like, "Oh, we could fast forward and watch the
Uh,
end," and he was like, "No." So I'm like, "Okay, we have to pause it and go to bed," and I know you're shocked that when I said go to bed, his response was no. I know you're shocked
mhm.
by that.
Last
And
night,
you're like,
they yeah, I was like they're like, "No, 2 more minutes." I was like, "No."
"Yeah,
And then
yeah."
you're, like, grabbing the remote from them, and you're, like, fighting for the remote to, like, turn it off. I don't
This is really terrible, and listeners, don't do this, and this is really messed up, but Gio's afraid of the dark, and so I'll just leave the room and turn the light on. He'll be like,
And he'll come up? Okay. Hey, listen, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm like, "That's fine. I'm going upstairs. You can stay down here with the ghosts." Don't say there are ghosts.
Beck went over to a friend's house on Sunday, and he was like and then we went into his room, and he was like, "We watched scary YouTube videos." And I
Oh,
was like, "What was scary YouTube videos?" And I think it was turning all the lights off and watching YouTube was
oh,
the scary
okay.
part of the YouTube thing. So funny.
I hate YouTube because for children because something can click on, right? Oh, there'll be an ad or something will happen that will traumatize all of my one time my neighbor, the little girl that Gabby was playing with, was, like, watching YouTube and zombies showed up. So Gabby slept in our room for a week, like, 6 years ago, and I was like, "Thanks, YouTube."
I hate
So
YouTube
now
just
he's
because it's, like,
scared.
never ending
And
off.
so I it's off his iPad, it's off because I know that he watches it to see how to do something on Minecraft or Roblox, right? You watch it to
Yeah,
figure out how to do things,
yeah.
and I was like, because he told me that he was scared from something, I said, You can't watch YouTube without somebody there watching it with you." So, he can watch it on the big TV with an adult there, but not on his iPad because you can just clickety click into something that's
Well,
inappropriate.
but you can create a separate YouTube login for them that is an under 18 and that will adjust what they see.
Yeah, but still, because if they see it, you have to report it. It's not gonna stop them if this makes sense. You watched a commercial, think about Lemony Snickets. Some children can that's a children's show, some children can watch that. My children, now the older 2 are fine, but have a very low threshold for anything scary. Anything. He saw a spider, Kelly. That's under
Uh,
18. That's nature video. We don't have
I
bugs
see. We
here.
don't have that issue.
So,
I just can't stand YouTube. The kids will watch it, but they just
yeah.
watch, like you said, the video game
Now it's
things.
the
We don't have
shorts.
issues with
YouTube shorts are
ads.
like the worst because 'cause they're
I
just
hate that
scrolling,
ad. It's
scrolling,
TikTok.
scrolling. Yeah, everything's turned into
Um,
reels and everything.
but they do watch some really good YouTube stuff. And
There's
they're
some
only
great things on YouTube. I
they're
go to
allowed
YouTube
to
all the
watch YouTube
time.
like twice a
We
week.
have a
We have
YouTube
some
channel.
guardrails on it.
There's some great
That's true.
things about YouTube. People podcasts on
Mark
YouTube.
Rober, even Mr. Beast, sometimes we watch.
Yeah,
I
we look
sometimes watch it's like I
like
hate to watch.
how to
I
do
hate to say I
something.
like them.
I've
Yes.
learned
Yeah, it's true.
how
Fair enough.
to I learned about my car through YouTube. I found hidden compartments in my car because I was watching a YouTube video when I got my car. There are great things, but just like with anything,
Yes.
yeah, sometimes it just feels like a constant struggle. And it's we don't want to do that. Like we want to chill, we want to relax, we want to have a good time too. And so it can be emotionally draining, right? When the kids are pushing back.
Yeah, and so we said, "Look, it's nice out. It was nice this weekend. It's gonna start getting nicer out. Guess what? You're not gonna be on screens all the time. We're
Yeah.
just gonna stop it." I think we're gonna come up with sure, could I research this to figure out what works? I think you also need to figure out what works with your kid and also
Yeah.
figure out what works in a way that doesn't make you feel like a shitty parent. I think we'll set a schedule on the weekends and make them go outside or like we made them turn screens off for 3 hours on
Yeah.
Sunday. And they
Yeah.
like did stupid
We
stuff.
had
Who cares?
yeah,
Just not be on TV and not be on a
Gabby's
screen.
not as much into screens and Dom has tournaments all the frickin' time, so it's really just Geo, and sometimes for the most part, he's FaceTiming his friends, and
Yeah.
he's playing Geometry Dash,
Yeah, that's the new thing Beck's playing.
And so it's you're talking to your friends the whole time, they're laughing. I hear them say, "Do this," and so that hits me different,
Also,
than if
Geometry
you're
Dash
just
is they're building
yeah,
things. It's
and
like a
so
coding kinda game. Cool.
yeah, and so those things hit me different. I'm like, "Listen, he's burnt out all week long. He doesn't do video games, doesn't get anything. We're in baseball, we're doing this, we're doing that. I'm gonna let him just like you and I sometimes want a day where we do nothing. I'm gonna give him a day of nothing, right?" And then it's like the next day, we've gotta set some boundaries around it or whatever, and I've
Yes.
even done and my kids are fine with it, but I've even traveled and not let them take anything before, which one of our best vacations ever, like, they couldn't take anything, which was awesome. So, we'll see. We have a 4.5, 5-hour road trip to Phoenix for spring break, so I guess we'll see what I decide to
Wonka.
do.
Seriously, if you can hook it up,
Yeah.
it's so good, Jess. It's so good.
Yeah. No,
It's,
that would
um,
be fun.
it's about Willy Wonka before he became Willy Wonka.
Yeah, yeah, I remember seeing the previews for it, so, anyway, yeah, I'm excited for spring break. Your spring break isn't until April,
No,
so
it's just the
you've
last week of
gotta yeah,
March.
but you guys aren't out of school till June, right? Or right, you guys have a whole different
Correct.
schedule than we do,
Correct.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, you have a whole different schedule than we do, and then the final thing I just wanna say is I have 30 days until Gabby takes her driving test.
Hey,
So
exciting.
yeah, yeah, that's exciting. She's very excited. I'm like, maybe you'll take my car, and my car's a 2016, and so it's old. It's old janky car for Gabby.
In her mind?
It's my car's old janky car. So anyway, but that's everything we've got going on, and it sounds like hopefully things start winding down for you. Is this your last travel for a while?
Until spring break. But
All
yeah, no, I'm
right.
fine. I think just traveling without my family and then just feeling the burden of everyone else picking up the slack and making sure everything's, like, going the way it needs to go, it's pretty crazy, so
And once you let go and you were like, whatever happens at home, was that better for everybody?
I think just sure. Like, it's fine. I think just with Wes being sick last week, it was really hard for me to
Yeah. Yeah.
be away and to see what was happening there, and he missed 4 days of school, which was
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
I was like when he goes to school, I was like, "You need to talk to every single teacher, and I'm shutting off your phone if you can't have a report out to me on what every teacher said." That seemed to work.
Yeah, yeah,
Anyway,
finding motivation
you know,
for him.
the threats
Yeah,
that you have to make as a parent worked out. It's
absolutely.
great. Everything's fine.
Sometimes you gotta do that.
Yes. Thanks for listening today. Don't forget to subscribe so you can hear our latest episodes as soon as they drop.
If you loved today's episode, share with a friend. Come visit us on Instagram or Facebook. Make sure to give us a follow. We have lots of giveaways. If you want to know more about Kelly and I, read our blogs, find more tips, tools, and resources, check that out at chasingbrighter.com. Thanks.